Who wants to start?
I can go.
Yeah.
Okay, so what I did this week was just community management, so responding to messages, social reactions, social media stuff, the regular things, some tweeting and stuff. I attended the social coding meeting, and I sent some feedback to Yeler for the hackathon. I worked a little bit on the manifesto. I got some inspiration, amongst others, from Grace, because she Lorelei put the text that she wrote for branding on our wiki, and there was actually some good value points in there. She referenced it actually in one of the Lumios that's up right now. That document had disappeared, but it's actually on our wiki, so that's perfect. Then I prepared and had the comms meeting. Then I wrote a little bit of a script based on Yeler's great document for the Ride bot. So I did communities, contributors, general governance, and comms. I attended the DApp meeting. Then I had a quick. If you look at the great site that Kai made for DAppNode, and that inspired me a little bit for our own donate page. So I created a quick a Google Doc which was like a cut and paste of both our site and the donate page. Then I finished the creative briefing, and just before this one, we did the briefing for the Give a Galaxy creative concept, and this one will, and I'll post this one on Medium later tonight with a new video recording, because the video recording didn't work really well. And that's it for me, and I give it to Yeler.
Oh, hello. I have been in Grant World this week, kind of researching, drafting, looking at the possible grants and partnership situations out there for some DAppNode stuff, but a lot of the stuff that we're working on as well for the DAX and for the DApp, as well as kind of talking with the Wojtek about some budget stuff. And then I hosted the social coding meeting, sync meeting, and took a bunch of notes. I was able to actually start to organize the GitHub a little bit with Kai. He helped push the notes there. Now we've got kind of a simple web page that's hosted through GitHub, which would be helpful to be built out in the future. I also submitted a small grant proposal to the Ethereum Community Foundation for the hackathon, and I continue to refine the organization of the hackathon. I had some talks with Kai about how we're going to organize that, and started to draft some of the blog posts that we were going to do starting in July. Yeah, that's it for me. I pass it to you, Wojtek.
Hi. So this week, I've been working on some Dapp development, most specifically splitting donations, donation aggregation, and some migration right now. There's a lot of really broken milestones that I'm fixing, so hopefully that will be done. And I guess that's it. I probably forgot a lot. Who didn't go?
I haven't gone. So, okay, this week I actually had a lot of family things to do, and road tripping up the coast kind of slowed me down. But I still got some stuff done. Lots of work around the Argon BAC, line the foundation of that. I have a document to share with you, Luke. And then planning the meetup in Zug, and actually it sounds like Lindsay is saying that we're going to tag on to the end of the Argon meeting. That's what it's looking like right now. So like from the 4th till the 7th or 8th. something like that. And then finished the Argonne grant up and had that call with Maria, which was awesome. And so that's just being settled, and Yaler is signing the things, so thank you, Yaler. Open source block explorers call tomorrow, doing all the transitions, so I don't have to do any work on that, and Mitch is going to take it over. Did a little bit of work on the identity white paper and a very little bit of work on the DAppNode grant that Che and Yaler are working on, and kind of through Che at Yaler, hopefully that will work out. Let's see, Burning Man stuff, of course, making a lot of progress there. Visited RJ, actually saw his farm. That was really fun. And we talked about the security plan, really nailed down some details on the bridge, and also talked about Argonne and all these fun things. And then I talked with Bowen, had like a big meeting with Bowen on the security plan, helped him make that diagram, which is pretty good. I also met with this cool pair of people in Seattle, that Kara and Emilise. They're working on creating some kind of project for decentralized like support groups and maybe even universal basic income for transgender people in Seattle. And they want to use Giveth really bad. In fact, they're doing a hackathon. They're going to do the hackathon with it, so that's cool. Met with Lorelei and them. And then I actually had kind of an interview, meet and greet with Christopher, Yaler's buddy. So I'm just like riding Yaler's coattails this week for the most part. How about Lorelei?
Hey, Griff mentioned a lot of things that we did together. Yeah. I'm road tripping up the coast from Los Angeles all the way to Spokane. And yeah, just the regular things this week. We did triple check, and it really was like the best one yet. It was so smooth, and like whatever we're doing something right, because the quality of the milestones just like shot up this week. It was great. So thank you, everyone. Yeah, and we had that meeting with an old friend of mine who's got this decentralized nonprofit for trans folks. I've worked on the wiki a little bit, getting meeting notes on there. And other than that, yeah, dealing with lots of family stuff. We stopped by Seattle where we both have lots there. So yeah, looking forward to more focused work. I'm going to pass it to, let's see. Did you say Luke is your friend that's here?
Yeah.
Luke, do you wanna talk?
Sure. Let me figure out how to share my video so I can be part of this. Not actually sure. I haven't used Jitsi before. This past week, I did a lot of reading, some actual academic literature on social choice theory, which was really interesting. Read some posts, edited some posts, did some writing, and I joined a bunch of the Giveth channels on Riot, which I hadn't had set up before. So that was really cool. Thanks for the invites, guys. And looking forward to getting a bit more involved.
Pick someone else, Luke, and thank you.
How do I find people that have not gone?
So the name should be on the right side of your screen if you can see the bubbles there.
I don't think we've heard from Bowen yet. Is that true?
Bowen is only able to listen.
But you could pick Kai, I think.
Pick who?
Kai? Has Kai gone?
Sure, no, I haven't. It's okay.
Okay.
By the way, video is on the bottom. You can also press V or M for mute and video. Yeah, like you heard it through the grapevine. I've been doing some like website stuff. This week I made a new DAppNode site, and following up from that, we'll make a new donation page. It's not up yet. I got the spec from Chris yesterday, and I'll finish it before the weekend. I attended all the meetings except for that meeting because I I kind of forgot it was yesterday at 8. But so many others. We had a good social coding meeting with a good communications meeting. Just before this meeting, we had a meeting about the contest we want to hold, or that communication wants to hold. I think we have a lot of interesting Lumio stuff coming up. So.
Ooh, we just lost Kai there. And he's back.
He's back in the room.
Me? Hey guys. I don't know. I just got on this call, so I guess we are at the stage. What did we do last week? Right? Okay. So if nobody objects, I've been working on the DApp according to plan, working on migrating. Well, just do some database stuff. Basically, we're upgrading our backends a bit. Also having meetings, and then decided I start to actually read the book Holacracy. So I've been doing that as well. It's very interesting. Apart from that, I have nothing else to tell you guys. I don't know who hasn't gone. Wojtek or fellow Jitzer?
RJ.
Jitzer.
Both of those people went. RJ.
Oh, RJ. Okay.
Yeah. Let's see. Made some upgrades to the bridge. Hopefully, make the withdraw process quite a bit easier. And what else did I do? I'm working on. I got Jordy to kind of give me some control over the Soul compiler stuff, so I can merge some commits there, and that we've basically been just using pointing our dependency to the branch instead of a published package, but now I can kind of manage that better. Also working on getting the coverage for Solidity code working again. They made some changes to the Soul Cov pack, and so I just need to update to it. It's still kind of in beta. But yeah, that's mostly it. Talked to Gref for a while on Monday, Tuesday, one of those days. I'm not sure if Adam, did you go? I came late, sorry.
Nope, I have not gone yet. I have pretty much just been reading up on stuff this week, attended some meetings, and my main thing has been an article I'm working on for the DApp team about milestone conversations and how, beefing up accountability kind of is in line with the long-term vision of the Giveth community. And unless anyone new has joined, I think I'm the last person.
Yeah, we're getting really good at picking people, I gotta say. Well played, RJ. So let's go with logistics for this meeting. There are 10 people here, so always definitely maybe 11. Someone just connected. So definitely try to keep it short. If you don't have a lot to say, feel free to pass it rapidly. We have Luke, and who it's your first meeting, and someone just joined. Hello? I don't know who that is. But
it's me, it's Lizzie. Sorry, I've been trying to connect.
Okay, cool. So if you, Luke, since it's your first meeting, you're kind of like omitted from the conversation, so you can just watch the process for the first run. But everyone else will keep it fast. And we will do quick check-ins, distractions, intentions, and yeah, and that's it. And keep it quick. So I'm not distracted at all, and I intend to have a quick meeting. How about Lorelei?
I'm also not distracted, only by taking notes. And yeah, I'm excited to talk about these Lumio proposals. Some of them are sensitive, and yeah, just looking at efficiency in those conversations. Let's see, Kai.
Hi, no distractions. Hope we have a quick meeting. I mean, we have lots of stuff to talk about, so I want to make it short. So my expectation is to go through all those proposals. One, be quick. Yaler.
Same here. Yeah, keeping really on task. I'm here mostly to talk about the Loomio budget proposal. We came up with some really good ideas. Me and Wojtek want to share, and want to hear feedback from everyone on that. I pass it to Chris.
Yeah, just no distractions. Looking forward to the meeting. And I give it to Bowen, who cannot talk. I give it to Adam.
Same deal here. No distractions. Looking forward to an interesting meeting, and just to get more up to speed on everything over here, I will pass it off to Lindsay.
Hi guys. I have really poor reception, so that's a little bit of a distraction. But I am here to support and participate. So I'm on my phone, so I can't really see who else hasn't spoken.
RJ.
RJ, go for it.
Yeah, no real distractions, and we tend to have a quick but productive meeting. Sasha?
Yeah, I'm a little bit distracted. I might have to drop off in 20 minutes, but looking forward to this meeting. My intention here is to get the dates of the Aragon meetup, Give It Aragon meetup, and of course proposals. Wojtek.
No distractions. Let's make it quick. And I don't know. I think everyone went.
Anyone else? Okay, cool. Then first proposal is actually mine. Let me see, where is this? So the Gov campaign is out of money.
Hey, Griff. Sorry,
yes.
maybe as Satya has to drop off in 20 minutes, maybe we should start with his. I don't know.
Do I have a proposal?
Yeah,
you do.
Yeah, it's the safe enough to try one, which we don't. Again, so there are 3 proposals: safe enough to try, Gov meeting, or Gov is out of money, and I don't have that. I'm not looking at it right now.
Okay.
And what donations to accept. I don't know, Sasha, if you want, you can talk about safe enough to try.
I wasn't really planning to. It was just a discussion on Loomio, and if it ends up in a proposal, then at some point, yes. But I didn't want to bring it to the governance meeting just yet, I guess.
Perfect.
Just there is a discussion on Loomio.
Yeah, I think it's a really good discussion, and there's also been like some action that's been kind of talked about. So we may be making progress on that with Lansky. You've seen it, right, Satya?
Okay, I have to check it out. All right.
And I also want to mention that mine is also just a discussion. I have a proposal coming in my head, but I haven't put it on the Loomio.
Perfect. Then we only have
really just one.
Yeah, we only have one. Well, that's cool. And I will say that at least just since we're already breaking format, Sasha asked about the dates for Aragon meetup. Aragon has an on-site meetup on the 3rd, and I think nothing's finalized yet, but I think we're going to extend that and do the 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, like that. But I don't think anything's finalized today. But Linz is on top of that. So, okay. Governance. The tension. The Gov campaign is out of funds. We're probably in negative territory by like 0.5 Ether-ish. So my proposal is that we maintain the current split of donations until the DApp has implemented the donate button. And any of the overages that we have, I will actually make a direct donation to the bridge when we migrate, and out of my personal funds to cover the Gov campaign during the migration process. And then that way we have exactly how much we're supposed to have, and the Gov campaign will not have any money delegated to it. If it's in the red, right, it will have 0 funds. And then the other campaigns will all have exactly what they have left as expected. And then just to give like a little bit of background, in the Loomio, I put a link to our sheet that we do every week that shows all the milestones, and Lorelei actually keeps track of the different campaigns that have funds. And so last week I had like 1.15 Ether in my campaign, and this week I will have negative. So yeah, I think there's going to be some major bills too from the Cardona event. So even though we have some big donations coming through, I don't think that it will cover the expenses the next couple weeks for governance. Also, we do have tokens, so like technically I'm not in the red because we do have like the Kenya tokens and the other tokens, which will probably be split, or which I would hope will be split amongst the same plan of donation splitting that we had before. But I really think we should try to spend those tokens as tokens once we can whitelist those tokens and use them in our campaigns, as opposed to like cashing them out right now, especially considering the crypto crash always hurts tokens, and the crypto boom always helps tokens more. So maybe when we're going up, turning those tokens into Ether will make more sense. Okay, so my proposal again, I will just donate. Let me go in the red. Let me take a loan from you guys to keep the bureaucracy simple. And then when we actually do the migration, part of the migration will be me putting in money for whatever governance is on the red. Any clarifying questions? No? Okay.
Sorry, I do have one. Because isn't this like two proposals? Isn't this about, or isn't this about the budget question in general and the governance as a second one? Like, there's two things to this. Like, why did governance run out? And the other one is because it seems like the sentiment is there should be more transparency about budgets. So I think this is like many issues in one. It's just my observation.
The Gov circle ran out because of probably the events being kind of big. And when we did the budget, we kind of expected not to do events anymore until we split, you know. So, and that lasted for a while, but then we needed to do events, and so that was the big expense. And I have been like paying Linz and Lorelei outside of the budget because I saw I didn't have enough budget to pay them, right? So that is, but that's not reflected in this. I actually have just been paying them with my own funds. And so the transparency there is like kind of a piece of the fact that I don't have the funds for sure in the Gov campaign because they were, I wasn't allocated enough from the beginning. Also, Reward DAO eats into it pretty hard too. Does that answer the question? I don't know. I still feel like it's just one proposal, the main focus being like, hey, I'm in the red, you know, and basically everyone else is, you know, our multi-sig isn't going to add up right. And so what I'm hoping is that I can just donate when we have the bridge. And there is a chance that if we do the bridge quickly and we get Argon donations or other donations that I don't have to donate at all.
Okay.
Any other clarifying questions? Okay, cool. Reaction round. Who wants to start?
I'll start. I had like a little bit of time to kind of think about this, and I was thinking about like how it's going to work in the future, I suppose, especially because we have this donation split that we've got now, and that's just historically how it's been done. I think if we're talking about splitting donations that are coming in For example, the next grant that we've got coming in, the NEST grant, we have a clearly defined path for that, right? So we know how much money is coming in, and we know how much we know which ones. I think we actually had a conversation, me, you, and Wojtek had a conversation about how it would be split over the milestones. And it's 1, 2, and 4 are split the regular way, and then 3 and 5 are directly for development. Okay, Wojtek just shared in the Google Doc that. And so the easy way to do this for transparency's sake would be to calculate what those amounts are and then just donate that, create a milestone for that in advance and donate that amount because you already know that that amount is what's coming in. That way it's transparent and we know how much you need to donate and how much that you will be reimbursed for exactly without guessing how much overages are. You just donate the whole amount. So if you pull up this spreadsheet, or I could screen share it, whatever you prefer. Yeah, okay, I'll screen share right now. Oh. Yeah. Okay. Cool, so this is not it. This is it, great. So you can see this, can you guys all see the screen? Am I still talking here? Can you guys see the screen?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yep.
So you see this sheet here. This was how the grant is to be split, the initial grant that has just been approved. 1 and 2 installments are split normally into the multi-sig. 4 is also split normally into Aragon DAC, and then 3 and 5 go to the DAP team. So we did the maths, and it comes out to 33.11 ETH for governance. Assuming like today's ETH price, I would guess that we could do it on whatever day you send ETH in, so that ETH in is ETH out. And then you could just send that whole amount, create a milestone for that amount, and then fund the governance campaign with that amount. So there is no guessing. Does that make sense? Sorry, I changed it too fast.
I know I personally am having a little bit of a hard time following this. It looks like you guys have done great work, and if we spend more time on it, it'll be understandable. I don't know if now is the time.
It's not the process, no crosstalk.
Sorry, I probably should choose someone else for reactions. That's my reaction. I would like to choose Chris for his reaction.
Yeah, so it's really cool that we have the sheet and that it makes sense, and that Bart is going to Govern, Bart is going to social coding and to comms, because yeah, we'll be in the same situation, I think, as Griff, because I'm quite behind on making milestones, and I'm going to make them this week. And we're doing some contests and some other stuff, and the video and stuff that has cost quite some money. So yeah, I really like the proposal Giller and Wojtek are making, because I don't think Griff should be spending his own funds, which he already does so much for Giveth. And if the grant is this grant is coming anyways, I would definitely support this. Yeah, talking about transparency, also the remark that that Kai made. Yeah, maybe, but that's probably another proposal. But when Lorelei is doing work for Giveth and when Lindsay is doing work for Giveth, then maybe it would also make sense that Griff doesn't pay for it personally, but that this is paid out of governance, and that you just split it up, and that it's not because there is not enough funds that you start paying it for yourself, because you have some personal funds out of which you can do this, but just also for transparency and correctness, I think it would make sense that Giveth pays for this and not you. But maybe that's going to be easier when the DAP is a completely donation up, free and running, as you always say. And I give it to RJ.
I don't have much to add. I guess just that everybody goes to these meetups, and so it seems fair to kind of split some of that cost instead of all the burden being on the governance circle, I guess. Lorelei?
Hold on, just one second. Okay. Yeah, I agree that there's kind of a tension around transparency with Griff personally funding this stuff. I'm totally okay with the proposal at hand. I think right now, like, definitely a decision needs to be made because Gov is in the negative. So I like this proposal for now. I would definitely go for it. And I also like this conversation about making it work better and more intentional. And I want to look more closely, Yaler and Wojtek, at your guys' proposal. Thank you for working on that. And I will pick Adam.
Hey, everybody. Yeah, I guess I don't have a strong feeling about the best way to handle this, but just remembering back to something that I think maybe Griff said in Cardano, which is just that, you know, the way things are done kind of in the early stages here may end up, you know, whether it's intended now or not, providing a roadmap for things that happen down the line when the organization is more built up. So, you know, things like people, you know, keeping the organization afloat with personal funds may not set a great precedent or whatever. I don't know, just to keep the future in mind. I don't know who hasn't weighed in on this one yet.
Lindsay.
All right. Yeah. I think everyone's made incredibly valid points, and I support the proposal, but I think we should use this as an opportunity to plan for the future, whether it's the Aragon grants coming in, whether it's supports from the other circles for the events that they participated in. But for immediate response, like I said, I support it, but I think it's a good opportunity for us to rally around the budget and to plan for the future as best you can and try to not have it just come out of pocket and kind of reorganize the way we move forward when it comes to funds and donations, which I think everyone individually is already doing to some part, but we should all be a part. I think we should open it up to a little bit more conversation once it's a little bit more organized. So, and Satya?
Yeah, I think it's a very serious issue that the circle is running out of money. And I think, you know, we really should learn from that, I think. And I don't like this solution very much because this is the Aragon grant for the DApp development, right? It's not that I don't want to keep that money for the DApp development, but I think it's not fair to Aragon and to the grant to use that money to like pay our bills in like retrospectively. So I'm not super excited about this. And I doubt that Aragon would agree, but maybe you talk to them and they say, like, yeah, can we use that grant in any way we want and split it out over the circle? So I don't know. But apart from that, I also agree with RJ. I think, you know, the governance circle is doing a lot of valuable stuff for the circles, especially for the events. We all value the events a lot, and the events are like shitty expensive, and we love them. So I think I would be more in favor of like circles donating to events to make that possible, and then be more as a circle lead, also be more on top of budget. So don't spend money that you don't have, because yeah, this is like a very temporary solution. Like, hey, use the Aragon grant, and then we'll see. So I'm not super excited about it, but okay. Who didn't go? Wojtek?
Yeah. So I actually am going to react a little bit to you as well. So in a response for getting the Aragon grant, we actually said that this will be the distribution. It's clearly stated there in the proposal, so it's very transparent, and they do know that this is how the money will be split. At the same time, we also, when we were creating a budget back in January, we allocated in each circle money going for meetups, but so far we haven't really used them. But to stay on the original proposal, I think, sure, governments can get a loan from GRIF. Let's say it's 30F. He should also create a milestone right away for the 30F to actually get it out. I think that's transparency that should be there. And who didn't go? Kai, maybe?
Yeah, I didn't. So I think this collects a lot of stuff in this issue.
Kai, I'm sorry to interrupt. Lorelai's taking notes, and she said that she kind of missed the last part of Wojtek's piece. Can you just repeat that what you were saying, Wojtek, about the 30F milestone?
Oh, right, that one. Yeah. So I think the clearest way is that you just give 30F in the campaign once it gets created, and you immediately create a milestone for a refund of 30F. Clearly saying this was a loan to the Gov circle. I hope that's clear. If not, we can clarify.
Yeah, that works. Okay, Kai.
Okay. First of all, I don't believe in the. I don't think I believe in the idea of circle leads anymore. I don't think we're doing a good job with that. I think this should maybe rotate, or there should be some like dynamic system that can take over if somebody doesn't have time. It's a bit crazy that we, like, at the point that the budget is out, we discovered that the budget is out. When we made it, so just to, like, for this proposal, when we made the budget, we said that, like, if we run out, this would be the solution, that Griff pays out of his pocket and gets reimbursed eventually. I don't like the solution much. I like the, and I think it's like governance is doing. It's like the funds governance like spends are usually coming to the benefit of all the other circles, like the events or like the office. Or I'm not so sure what's all included, but it's for sure that. And so I would really like to have a reality check about the leads coming from this, and about budgeting in general, and even this, that the circle lead is in charge of budgeting. And I also would like to have a reality check about the total, about these percentages, like how we allocate to each circle. It's very hard for us to see how much each circle still has, and how they, or how good they've been managing their funds. Because it's like, I do think that development needs a huge amount of money, but I'm not so sure like this percentage of 48, 17, 16, 15 is working for a long time, or for a longer time, and it's really sustainable. Like Wojtek said, to expect so and so much going into support, and for me it's strange because like those are the circles, they should handle those things, but maybe they're not budgeted for that. So just to come back to the proposal, I will kind of abstain, but yeah, I will go with the majority for this proposal. And I think I was the last one to speak. If anybody hasn't spoken, please speak now.
Sorry, so everyone's good? Okay, well, I'll amend and clarify. So I'm not sure I fully understood the Yayler and Wojtek's plan. They sounded different to me. I am generally the main donor of Giveth, I would say, right? So in one way or another, through various means, often I am just, like, I don't take pay. I just put my whatever money I receive for external work into Giveth. And like taking a loan from Giveth seems kind of weird to me because I have no problem fronting the cash as a donor. So it's kind of like there's two different like personas. There's like Griff, the Giveth donor, and then Griff, the governance lead. And maybe it's difficult to separate sometimes, but for the most part, I'm just trying to make things easy. We have this current solution with Aragon, with the circle leads mostly as a temporary fix because we've been designing our organization to work with a DApp where you can donate to milestones, campaigns, and such, right? So when we have when we actually have the DApp up, and once we have Argon DAC, a lot of the stuff that governance is doing now is pretty much going to disappear. Like Reward DAO will probably be its own campaign, I would imagine. Like there might be some admin work. Social coding is actually paying for the office. The main thing that the governance circle does is and that was built into their budget, is the Reward DAO, which has been a couple months, it got bigger than it was. And the events, we were planning in January not to do events, and we didn't do events for a while, but then we realized how important they were. So like these extra costs built up, as well as I'm throwing Bowen into the mix and Kai, which they were originally comms. And so, so like people started getting more funds than allocated. So, things change, but because we're so close to getting the DApp out, it's a little scary to have to go through all that work and emotional baggage of changing the budget. And so I really want to avoid that as much as possible and just hope that we are, a few weeks away from actually using our DApp the way it's intended. I definitely, on the loan thing, I mean, if you guys really think that's a great idea, that's cool. For now, I want to say my proposal stands, because there is a chance that we get donations and governance isn't in the red when this whole thing turns around, when we actually turn around. Let's see. Yeah, I think that's it. So I guess I didn't hear any, I heard like some other options, but I didn't hear any strong proposals saying it's not safe enough to try. So I guess I'm just going to stick with the same proposal, which is if I'm in the red when the migration campaign happens, then I will donate. And if I can understand the other proposal a little bit better that Yayler was talking about, then maybe it will change. But that's the proposal now. Any objections?
I object until we can discuss the proposal that we created further.
Yayler, I can't hear you.
Oh, can anyone hear me?
Sure.
Is it just me? Okay,
yeah,
hold on. I gotta get out of Brave.
Yayler, you can talk on my speaker if you want.
Okay. Okay. I object until we're able to discuss the proposal that we came up, because I think there's actually a lot other clarifications that need to happen at this moment. Like, this is a really important moment. And Kai actually mentioned this as well. Like, Circle leads running out of money is a really like important thing we need to look at. So creating the transparency for the milestone, through the milestone for how much money will go in and how much money is left is really, really important. And I'd like to discuss that before we actually just say, yeah, spend whatever you want and then we'll refund you for that. That's my objection. So maybe that conversation needs to happen offline or in a discussion with Mia or something, but it can happen really fast.
So it's not safe to try. It's not safe enough to try. Where is the damage to give it moving forward?
I think if we don't change things right now, we're being irresponsible with budgets that are coming in and that are actually already allocated for other things. For example, if this Aragon grant is allocated for DApp development, and then we start paying back things that we don't necessarily all agree on or don't necessarily all say is something that we want to support, then we're moving in a bad direction. That's just my general feeling. We're continuing to like we're obfuscating how the funds are being spent, and it's going to actually cause some issues.
Okay, so sorry. Can you mute yours? Okay. So then the idea is that if then I guess I will amend the proposal to say, unless a better proposal comes up, because right now I'm in the negative. So basically the tension needs to be solved that the governance campaign is taking funds from other campaigns during the milestone thing. So there's multiple ways that we can solve this, right? Right now, the governance is negative. So, and there's no way to donate directly to the governance campaign. So at this point in time, there is either the governance campaign can't pay people out, and so that means this week is stopped, or we have some kind of at least an allowance of allowing people to get paid that are expecting payments for the next couple weeks until the solution is made and the solution is debated. So what I would say is, unless a better solution is talked about offline and proposed next week, then we maintain. I'm sorry, Yela, are you talking? I can't hear. No. Okay. So unless a better solution comes up, then we stick with the current plan, which is I donate at the end to fill the red. And if another solution arises that's better, then it will replace it. Any objections? Or does that fulfill your objection, Yela?
I have to. Now it's me. Can you?
Okay.
Yeah. It's not a strong objection, but I actually think that even right now you can donate straight to the Gov Circle because we're just keeping it on a spreadsheet, right? So you can just say the Gov Circle gets a percentage plus an extra, I don't know, 10 ETH that you just gave in. I just think that could be a solution.
That is a solution, but it opens up a can of worms. And we had kind of an agreement that until the DApp was working, that we would use the split. And so I just want to stick with that agreement and basically do exactly that, which is donate directly to the Gov campaign at the quickest moment that I can, which is during migration. And I can also send that ether to some other smart contract or something that can do that, or something along those lines. But this is to, I mean, we need to satisfy the original tension, the initial tension, which is right now it's in the red. So at least have a backup solution until a better solution arises. Is there, I don't know, Yaler, can I get some feedback on whether or not that integrates, that we can continue the discussion, but at least we have this fallback plan?
Yeah, I think it's fine. I don't want to freeze payments, obviously, and I don't want anyone to be like waiting on this stuff. I think that I don't think our proposals are that different. I just think that it's a matter of becoming really clear about what the budget is and saying like, okay, if this is the amount of funds that we're going to spend, let's know that we don't have more expenses coming up. For example, if we're like, oh, let's have, you know, a new event in Switzerland, and we bring like half the team to Switzerland and it costs like 25 ETH, then like that's something that needs to be discussed in advance. Is that necessary? Like whatever. Because then if you only have 33 ETH coming in, and then you're like 50 ETH by the time it comes through, then we have another problem, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, so I agree. Like I won't.
Now you're muted, Yaler, I think.
Oh, sorry. I won't block it. I will agree to let it pass for now, and I think we need to have a longer conversation about how it's going to work in the future, especially with like Circle lead accountability.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully we will replace Circle leads with an Argon, you know, DAC and different governance things in the future. But for now, it's a lot easier to trust benevolent dictators to steward their funds correctly. And but yeah, okay. So sounds like proposal passed, and there'll be more discussions on this offline. Well, that was a long proposal. I thought it'd be an easy one. I guess we can do checkout. So thank you guys for discussing this. Whenever budget things come up, it's always really difficult. But that's hopefully will be solved when we actually have the DApp working and our budget system that we're designed for is part of our, you know, daily ritual. How about Chris?
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that Lumio to also understand it a little bit better. Yeah, and I'm happy. I'm not the only one who blocked a proposal. Yeah, so looking forward to that, and yeah, that's it. I give it to Yaler.
Thanks for hearing me out and working together. I look forward to jumping on a call soon and working through it, because I think we are very in line and we can get it sorted out for sure. I pass it to Lindsay.
Bye, guys. I miss you all. It is really nice to hear everybody out and hear everybody's opinions and work together on moving forward. So always a pleasure, and on to Wojtek.
Yeah, thanks for the discussions, guys. I think it's just something that clearly shows that there's maybe a lack of transparency and a lack of decisions being made, not sensibly, but according to agreements, I would say. And it's something. It just shows that it's something we should work on. But for now, it's fine. We found a solution. RJ.
Yeah, it's always good to hear everybody's thoughts. That's all I'll say. Yaler?
I already went. Pass to Adam.
Yeah, it's always interesting to hear how the process goes and to see this kind of distributed diplomacy model. So, yeah, thank you for letting me listen in. And has Lorelai gone yet?
No, I have not. Thank you. Yeah, that was interesting discussion. I feel like that issue, it's a very immediate, like simple seeming problem, brought up so many like things that are tied to it. So I'm really excited for the fleshing out of discussions and alternate proposals and stuff. Kai and Wojtek and Euler, there's all such important things there. So thanks, guys. And I'm picking
Luke.
Luke.
That was really really cool to watch for my first meeting and listen in. The actual process was interesting to see the flow, and the actual conversations seemed very productive. But it'll be interesting to see what happens. I guess all the follow-up discussion will be on Lumio, right?
I'll go. I think I'm the last. Yeah, Luke, you congratulations. That was an interesting one. And now we got you hooked. It's like these Netflix things you have to watch every week, so you see how it goes on. As much as I did not like these budget discussions at first, I kind of like them now because they if we always steer clear of these edges, we're in safe territory and we don't see the problems. We don't face our problems. So I really like to hit that edge and crawl around the edge and then find the free space again. It's work and it's tough, and there should be more. And I know we're in a sensitive time, so I guess it can take some time. We have a system in place, but I think this is a good starting point to just explore more these concepts that are really bothering us. And I like what Wojtek said about the lack of transparency, because yeah, it's interesting. Givat stands for transparency, and we don't like our own lack of it. So apart from that, thanks guys, very nice discussion. I think I was the last one. Else maybe Bowen is here, but yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if Bowen said he couldn't talk, so what do you know? We have an hour meeting and we filled the time slot perfectly. So thank you guys, and I'll see you next week and on Lumio. Sure. Bye guys.
See you guys.
Bye.